Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Thursday, the 28th of May. Existing pressures are likely to absorb much of the government's limited pool of budget cash. It slashed the operating allowance to just $2.1 billion in anticipation of rising inflation. Waikato economics lecturer Michael Ryan says cutting public service staff has added some wiggle room, but he says there's unlikely to be much for new initiatives.
I've signalled health, education, infrastructure, defence and police. It's no surprises that's where they've said they're going to spend the money because it tends to sit pretty well with the voting public in election year.
Meanwhile, a former National Finance Minister says the budget needs to get tough and cut spending. Ruth Richardson's controversial 1991 mother of all budgets cut welfare spending, introduced user pays and devolved public services. Richardson says red tape and ballooning debt have kept New Zealand stuck in a low-growth era. She says Minister Nicola Willis should not focus on handouts.
She must not add fiscal fuel to the fire. She needs to be able to rein in debt and deficits.
New Zealand is pushing for an urgent end to the Iran conflict as confusion surrounds peace talks. Foreign Minister Winston Peters spoke last night with Iranian counterpart Abbas Araghchi, making our position clear. Iranian state television claims a proposed deal involves the US lifting its blockade of ports in exchange for fully reopening the Strait of Hormuz. The White House calls that false. Donald Trump says Iran is negotiating on fumes.
Iran is very much intent. They want very much to make a deal. So far, they haven't gotten there. We're not satisfied with it, but we will be. Either that or we'll have to just finish the job.
Peters says no one right now wants to put a time frame on peace talks. The New Zealand Māori Council seeking a Crown apology over education changes to treaty legislation and wants the clauses fully restored. The Waitangi Tribunal found that the Crown breached treaty principles before announcing changes to the Education and Training Act. It's now examining the removal of school boards' treaty obligations in a second report. The council says gutting the treaty from the school curriculum is unacceptable and will dilute education. A government backdown on proposed homeschooling changes is being blamed on a lack of consultation. Its amendments would have increased oversight of families teaching children at home after concerns raised by cases linked to the Gloriavale community. New Zealand Initiative Education Research Fellow Michael Johnson says it's likely that Erica Stanford identified a real issue but rushed the process. Fonterra has released its latest financial update, confirming a year-to-date operating profit of $1.8 billion. For the current season, the earnings forecast is 60 to 70 cents per share, and the midpoint payout forecast is $9.70. To sport. Ongoing debate around Kalen Ponga's controversial send-off in Queensland's State of Origin series opening defeat to New South Wales and Sydney. The Maroons led 20 points to 6 at half-time. The Blues went on to win it 22-20. Crusaders Chief Executive Colin Mansbridge believes incoming coach Scott Hansen has been unfairly perceived following his exit as an All Blacks assistant. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.